Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if you're new. I am Channie and today we're watching our first ever Bricky video. This is what is Warhammer 40K, timeline of 40K lore. This was highly recommended. I'm nervous and excited. Hopefully I can keep up with the lore. I'm trying my best here. Sometimes I get lost. Just gonna try my best and hopefully you do enjoy this reaction. Let's go.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium exists the Empire of Man, a backwards carcass of an empire comprised
Wait, I need subtitles.
of many devoted forces, gigantic robot knights, religious machine cultists, and incredibly heavily armored
Ooh! Who's this? Hello.
knights, religious machine cultists, and incredibly heavily armored women,
Who is this?
most likely with sweltering abs. And one must
Goodness
know
gracious.
what those abs taste like.
Huh? Alright. Twitch, I'm sorry. YouTube, I'm sorry. I had to cut that part out. I didn't expect that. W sponsor, I guess, but damn. Yeah. It had to be cut out because yeah, a lot of assets were out.
The age of knowledge and enlightenment has ended. The age of darkness has begun.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly 60 million years ago, there existed aliens. And these aliens lived short, painful lives. They belonged to radiation-stricken worlds and often died of various cancers before the age of 30. These aliens, the Necron tier, looked up to the stars and found extreme beings of real power. Beings with the ability to create life. The old ones of the galaxy. They asked these old ones for
And I already know what he is into. I mean, it was abs, I guess. I always forget how well Bricky can sneak his sponsorships. No, I literally thought he was gonna start speaking about that lady in the white hair, because I'm interested in her. Like, who is she? I need the lore on her. Are you getting into 40K? I am. I've apparently I got adopted by the community, kinda. Hi Warhammer community. I'm new here. I'm gonna try my best to keep up. I'm so lost, so confused. But yeah. I saw Pretty Lady and Big Robot Man. And I was like, okay, sign me up. Now we're here. His faction videos tells you more about those girls and more. Well, I guess those will be next. Not today though, but definitely will be up in the list. Someone commented that they're sisters. Now, hold on. Let me hear about those sisters. Ears are open. Ears are up. I'm listening. I warn you, it's expensive and takes a lot of time. I don't think I will be... because I know it's a lot of books. So I probably won't get all the books. But if there's videos and content out, I'll definitely try to keep up with those. I know some people are also do like the figurines kinda or stuff like that. All the books, cough cough. So much time do you play? And speaking of playing, I know there is a Space Marine 2, which is Warhammer. That one I might be playing on stream eventually. So yeah, I don't know about other games, like physical games. But yeah, I guess I'll learn in the process of this video. Alright, let's run it a little bit back. So far he's talking about... I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna watch 10 minutes, pause, and try to like process through the information he's giving me. Because I feel like if I just watch 30 minutes straight, I'll definitely miss something. So I think I will try to like divide it a little bit so it's easier for me to like remember and attain info. But yeah, so far he talked about aliens, and then they looked up and then they saw high beings of power that they want to submit to? Question mark?
Life. The old ones of the galaxy.
The
They
old
asked
ones.
these
Okay.
old ones for help. Please cure us of our ailments. To which the old ones said, piss off. So the Necron tier gathered together and did the sensible thing. They declared war upon these old beings and were promptly beaten into the dirt back to their short, painful lives. In the world of Warhammer, there is a
Wait.
hell.
I play Sigmar, but sadly they're sending my BOC away. What is Sigmar? Beast of Chaos. These are all new terms. I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, I'm so bad with terms and names, guys. Okay, warning for the comments. Like I said again, I'm gonna try my best, but I'm really bad with names. Yeah.
This hell.
All right, let's run it a little bit back.
Cure us of our ailments. To which the old ones said, piss off. So the Necron tier gathered together and did the sensible thing. They declared war upon these old beings and were promptly beaten into the dirt back to their short, painful lives. In the world of Warhammer, there is a hell. This hell is not like you and I know it. It's more of an afterlife, a place where dead souls end up. This place has many names: the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls, the Immaterium, and the Ether. But mostly, we just call it the Warp. While you and I know of hell as a place of horrors and punishment, the Warp isn't really that. Not in the beginning. It's energy, but the kind of energy formed from thought and soul, psychic energy, where the dead souls of people end up in a place that is impossible to understand. No laws of reality exist. Like, time is merely a suggestion, and it is not something that can be braved easily. The Warp would be like sailing the ocean in a pirate movie. To jump from your ship would be certain death. To stay in the sea for too long on your boat could drive a man mad. And there are many dangerous things lurking in those depths. Yet, the sea is not evil. It simply is. Mostly. There are more malevolent beings in those waters, areas that you do not sail towards. This would be known as the realm of chaos. The realm of chaos exists in the Warp as a special area led by 3 chaos gods. Khorne, the god of combat, murder, and slaughter, with a pile of skulls taken in his name. Tzeentch, god of change, mystery.
These are really hard names. Okay, Khorne is easy to remember. Because spelling, do not tell me or ask me how to spell it, but phonetically wise, Khorne will be easy to remember.
Gods. Khorne, the god of combat, murder, and slaughter, with a pile of skulls taken in his name. Tzeentch, god of change, mystery, and deceit, a confusing paradox of lies, schemes, and sorceries. And Nurgle, god of rot, pestilence, and Genshin impact. All
What? What's with the Genshin reference? I used to play Genshin, so that caught me off guard, okay?
Nurgle, god of rot, pestilence, and Genshin impact. All things rot in the end. And Grandfather Nurgle is waiting for you with open arms. These gods ruled their respective realm in the Warp, sending their many followers against each other in the great game to
Under Minotaurs and Goatmen and monsters is the more medieval Warhammer. Oh. May Papa Nurgle give you all lots of hugs and kisses.
to be the most powerful of all the gods. So the Warp exists. Hell is real, parallel to our galaxy, with the realm of chaos and its gods fighting for control. But there are also gods.
I know it hasn't been 5 minutes, but quick question. If the Warp is hell, why is there a subdivision of hell that's called a chaos where it's actually hell, led by these 3 gods? A little bit lost there. A bit confused. Well, maybe it will be explained. Because, like, you would just call the chaos realm, you would call that hell, no? And then the Warp is just I don't know, something else that's not hell. But if warp is hell, chaos is hell to the power of hell? Think of chaos like coral reefs in the ocean. It will be explained later. It's another dimension close to ours. A place where our emotions and souls go. A small part of it is ruled by those chaos guys. So it's just like... Okay. I guess I'll understand more later.
Gods of real space, gods of the normal world too. They're called Catan, and they eat stars.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
These star gods saw the plight of our poor Necron tier and how the old ones cast them aside and said, you know what? You guys want immortality? Oh, we will make it happen. We are the gods of the tangible, of real space. We can give you a cure. So then they ate all their souls.
What?
And turned them into robotic automaton, feasting on their souls and leaving a hollow shell of an intelligence left that is technically immortal. With the power of an entire species' souls, they turned their new robotic slaves on the old ones and hunted them to extinction. The Necron tier, now the soulless, undying Necrons, got their wish at the price of their souls. But we can count the number of kind gods on an amputated hand. With time, the selfish star gods turned on each other, fighting one another for more chances at glory and power. With this, the leader of the Necrons, Zarek, the Silent King, the man who doomed his species when he accepted this deal, waited, planned, bide his time until he seized the perfect moment and turned his legions of undead citizens against the star gods. Gods cannot be killed, but they can be broken. So Zarek broke the star gods into thousands of pieces and locked them away in vaults, taking their free will away as they did to them, and sealed them away as basically Pokemon to be used as weapons in the future.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's the Void Dragon.
Zarek then, with his perfect memory, exiled himself for his sins, flying out to the darkness between galaxies to atone for what he had done. This entire situation, the genocide of the Old Ones and the rebellion of Zarek, will go down in history as the War in Heaven. It is the most brutal war the galaxy has ever seen and ever will see. This was a conflict that took an entire galaxy-spanning species and pitted them against gods that ate stars. The Necrons, rather crippled from, you know, the War in Heaven, decided to go to sleep in gigantic tomb worlds on various planets until the upstart species of the galaxy died out. And so turns out when you have a war that lasts tens, hundreds of thousands of years and involves the genociding of multiple species, the old ones of the galaxy, and the consumption of souls from an entire race, the warp gets a little wacky. You know, if you had a kiddie pool and it was nice and calm, Corn is over there splashing about, so you don't really go in that direction. Nurgle has explosive diarrhea, so you don't really go in that direction either. But you can still kind of get in the pool. The pool's still fine.
No, not if he's having explosive diarrhea in the pool. Why would you go in the pool where he's having explosive diarrhea? Why? Why? What? No, you don't do that. Don't.
Well, trillion souls to that kiddie pool, it'll make the waves a little more turbulent. And turns out a lot of them like to pick a side, Nurgle, Tzeentch, or Khorne. So the once calmer warp, the once relaxing kiddie pool, has now been bloated. 1,000,000 years of war will certainly make Khorne, god of murder and slaughter, more powerful. 1,000,000 years of war will probably make Tzeentch, god of deception and change, a little more powerful. And good God, 1,000,000 years of war will make Nurgle, god of decay, oh, just the tiniest bit more powerful. Now, entering that kiddie pool is no longer fun, it's dangerous. The warp is now a problem. Hell.
The warp is finally a warp now. Because in the beginning when he was describing it, it did not feel like hell. except the, I guess the areas with those three. But now, when there is actually an excessive amount of souls entering due to, like, the war and the deaths and genocide happening, obviously things have been amplified. Okay, makes sense. Okay, I'm following.
Is resembling hell a lot closer to what we imagined it
Mm.
originally. The Sea of
Yes.
Souls and the Realm of Chaos are now intertwined. So who
Oh.
else to brave the galaxy than a species that won't need to deal with that?
The age of the Eldar.
The Eldar are space elves. They have a lot of the traits that you probably think of when you think of elves. Tall, slender, pointy ears, bit more androgynous looking, no matter what DeviantArt will tell you, and a bit stronger on the emotional side. The old ones, as I mentioned, could create life. And when they were getting, absolutely bodied by the Catan and the Necrons, they made some new races to try to help them. One of them was the Eldar. It didn't save them, but they're here now anyway. Oh, and also the orcs, but they're busy right now.
Why? Why they're busy? What is going
The
on?
Eldar are a particularly psychically powerful race, so they were really adept at being able to handle the new.
Hold on. This one specifically, okay, he's kind of reminding me, like the one in the picture, reminding me of, you guys know in the Astartes video, the one that was like meditating. Maybe it's just the outfit a little bit reminding me of it, but yeah, that's who I'm thinking of right now.
Turbulent warp of chaos and good at killing Necrons, hence why they went to sleep. Being psychically gifted is basically like being a wizard, but you get your wizard powers from hell. This is called being a psyker. And basically, if you want to do cool wizard shit like lightning from your hands or reading someone's mind, you can do that, but you siphon the energy.
Right, there it is. I was right. Oh my god. I'm making connections.
Your hands or reading someone's
It's this dude. This clip.
mind. You can do that, but you siphon the energy to do that from the warp. Luckily, the Eldar are very good at handling this without too many negative effects because, summoning power from the Sea of Souls with the new Chaos friends can be a bit of an issue. But Eldar are pretty good at it. And you see, what's really cool and also awful about Warhammer is that most developed species travel long, faster than light distances by going through that warp. They create a tear in reality to unreality and move through it. Faster than light travel? Cringe. We go through hell itself to deliver your packages. For those of you who play Minecraft, you know how the nether is like a pocket dimension? So moving 10 spaces in the nether is actually moving something like 1,000 in the real world. That's basically what warp travel is. Just much like in the nether, there are a lot of things that want to kill you. The Eldar found a way to do so in between realities. Not regular reality, not the warp, something else. A purgatory of sorts, a fabricated psychic realm that allowed them to travel without fearing the negative effects of the warp. The Eldar were the perfect fit for the new galaxy, and they took it with open arms and pointy ears. The empire of the Eldar spread everywhere, and it spread all the way until now, the 21st century. That's right, while you were watching NPC streams on TikTok, the space elves were ruling the galaxy, and they did so for quite a long period of time.
Rise of humanity.
The 21st century came and went. Humanity grew and grew, all under the nose of their elf overlords. At this time, humans advanced, your classic sci-fi style way. We began to expand, colonize our solar system, terraformed our planets, created new and more powerful machines and starships. The age of Terra, also known as Earth, but we call it Terra here, was here, and existed between the 21st century all the way until the 15th millennia. Not much is known about this time, not much needs to be known. Humanity grew up, sought the stars. It's classic. Then came the years between 15,000 and 25,000, the age of technology, or to some,
Technology.
Dark Age of technology.
Oh.
This is when humanity reached a new apex of technological understanding. When you think of sci-fi, there's a lot of things you can think of. Star Trek, maybe Star Wars style. You can go cyberpunk dystopian. The age of technology was deep sci-fi, like a scientific prowess that fringed on magic. This is also when the first ever psychers began showing up in humanity. Individuals with the genetic mutation to be able to access the warp, and then because of that, travel through it. Humanity was no longer constricted to their early ways of travel. With warp travel, they could go anywhere in the galaxy. They equipped ships with gigantic AI machines, with everything you would ever need to know about mankind, and sent them out on colony ships to expand their influence across the galaxy. This was truly the golden age of humanity. And with every golden age, there is a fall. While the new human upstarts of the galaxy were reaching new levels.
Oh, okay, it's been a bit more than 10 minutes. Recap. There's warp. That's kind of hell, but not really. It's like hell, but very diluted. And then there's 3 like ruling people in there that those are like the bad areas of the warp. Forgot their names, but one was for chaos, deception, and the guy Norgal. I remember him because he bro said diarrhea in a pool. Anyways, I digress. Then there was like in the actual world, there was like the galaxy, not the galaxy, there were like these gods. No, there was like a group of, for lack of words, individuals that were kind of sick or had something going on with them, and they wanted immortality. And then the higher beings there were like, okay, well, I'll give you that. Take it. But they actually took all their souls in exchange, and they kind of made like these like robotic beings that are kind of soulless but intelligent. That made the warp be like overpopulated and actually turn to hell. And then with evolution and, you know, time, then we got like the elf species at some point here. Oh, yeah. No, wait. Was the elves before? Okay, no. Then this dude, one of the gods, I missed his name. Zarek. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna lock you guys up. I know you guys are gods, but like I can like Pokemon ball you, lock you away, Gojo style. Sorry for the spoilers, but he locked the other ones up because you cannot really like, I guess, defeat or kill gods, but you can like, you know, lock them away or destroy them in that way. So he did that, and then he like left to atone for his sins and all of that. And then the elves came up, and they were like more like, they had the powers, you know, the psychic powers and stuff, and they managed to be able to, what do you call it, not space travel, warp traveling. They unlocked that and were able to like travel through the warp without really facing the consequences and dangers of traveling through the warp. And then humanity happened, and then humanity kind of advanced, and then humans kind of mutated into like a mix of these elves and humans, and they were like sending out like colonial ships across the galaxies. Am I getting it kind of right? Am I following along fine for now? Close enough? Okay. Close enough. Yeah, this is a lot. A lot of info. Alright, let's go a few seconds back.
Truly the golden age of humanity. And with every golden age, there is a fall. While the new human upstarts of the galaxy were reaching new levels of technology and prowess, the Eldar were engaging in debauchery.
Debauchery?
What happens when a species has everything? You can produce unlimited food out of nothing. Your need for farmers and workers, gone. You have dominated the stars and have created a fast travel system that doesn't rely on the dangers of the warp. You have nothing else to do. You have no struggles,
Yeah, you get bored.
no problems, and feel as if there is nowhere else to go. Well, you begin to experiment. The Eldar started harmless enough. You know, you take a serious interest in your species' culture, your arts, paintings, poems, plays. These are Eldar, elves, remember? Their emotions are heightened, more powerful than us humans. So your plays get louder. They start to push on the limits of your hearing ability. Your music becomes different, more deranged. It pushes.
You don't need to get it all the first time. 40K is big and important stuff will be told more than once. Okay. I'll feel less stressed. Alright, let's go a little bit back. So they're talking about the place, their plays getting louder.
Of your hearing ability. Your music becomes different, more deranged. It pushes the boundaries of what is art. The visual spectacle of art becomes more bizarre, more delusional, more eccentric. And let's not forget a very important sense. Touch. Pornography is one thing.
Huh?
Brothels is another. What if they all mixed? What if your brothels were part of your art and music? And what if those became more deranged? The boundaries of debauchery were not just met, but shattered. Next thing you know, murder is commonplace and often mixed with the art, music, and sex. Pain is a common byproduct of entertainment. Whatever sensation you can have must be increased, must be enhanced, must be taken to the limits. The Eldar Empire slipped into a nightmarish realm of debauchery and excess, with the worst of it taking place in a city in the Webway, a black market for these kinds of heinous acts known as Kamara. Some Eldar saw the writing on the wall, saw what was happening to their species and how far they had slipped. So they boarded continent-sized starships called craft worlds and left their empire, seeking a more enlightened, calmer existence among their peers. Some, though.
Okay, so shit hit the fan. They started doing too much. They started off as like, you know, the elves being the most fitting for their current state after that war, to them now being doing too much, just too much.
Those in Kamara pushed it to even greater heights, relishing the pain and torment they inflicted on those around them. All during this, the warp, the yin to the yang of the world, was fed by these emotions, by the psychic power of the Eldar, by the souls taken in these depraved acts on a galactic scale. And just like that, Eldar ended. Slanesh, the fourth chaos god, was birthed into existence and consumed the souls of 90% of the Eldar population. Those that fled were spared the worst of it, and those in the Webway and Kamara were able to stave off the pull of Slanesh so long as they continued to commit horrid acts of torture and violence.
Wait, guys, what was Kamara again? Was that the new place that they were going to, or were those... No, those was something ship. Those were ships, colonial ships, like big ones. What was Kamara again? Was it the new... Was the new place? Should I go back? Drugs, rock and roll took over their species. It did. Kamara is the evil place in the Webway. Kamara was the city where all the real bad stuff happened. Oh, okay. So where all of this too much amplified of everything was going on, that was Kamara. Okay.
But for the majority of the Eldar, those that fled were spared the worst of it, and those in the Webway and Kamara were able to stave off the pull of Slanesh so long as they continued to commit horrid acts of torture and violence. But for the majority of the Eldar, their empire died with Slanesh's birth. The new fourth chaos god, she who thirsts, the god of unspeakable.
Dude, she looks so cool. I know she's like gonna like bring chaos and madness, but like damn, she looks so good. She's so slay. She's the reason the word slay exists, because she slayed.
God, she who who
She's a
thirsts,
baddie.
the god of unspeakable excess of pleasure, pain, hedonism, and perfection, had been born. With the fall of the Eldar Empire came the ruin of humanity. Slaanesha's birth sent storms in the warp across the galaxy,
Storms.
making travel between star systems impossible. Coupled with a huge classic
Oh my
AI
goodness.
rebellion, as a staple in these sci-fi settings, humanity began to suffer the age of strife. Now,
Strife.
planets that relied on intergalactic travel were completely cut off. Long-range messages, normally sent through the warp, were snuffed
A total
out. If you
state of
were a
like
planet
isolation,
that was
huh?
great at mining stuff, but couldn't get food, well, you know that movie about the rugby players in the mountains?
Oh,
and
huh?
because of these insane warp
I don't know
storms
that
and
movie.
fluctuations, psychers began to appear among the human population a bit more often. Now, this initially had them hunted down as witches, because that's pretty common in this setting, but some deemed it right to protect
The
them.
witch hunts.
Unfortunately for those people, psychers, because they open a gateway to the warp, don't really know how to use their powers well, and they kind of attract demons, who then force their way through the psyker as a conduit of sorts and begin to slaughter the population of your planet. The
Oh, so that was kind of like, I think during the Start This Project video, you guys were kind of telling me that, right?
and they kind of attract demons, who then force their way through the psyker as a conduit of sorts and begin to slaughter the population of your planet. The age of strife was a catastrophic period of time for humanity and set back their progress tenfold over the not one, not two, but 5,000 year period. During
my
this time,
goodness.
the age of humanity that we know began to form. Worlds equipped with large mechs for agriculture began to equip them with weapons to defend from alien and demonic invaders. Over 5,000 years, this became a custom and tradition, dubbing them as night worlds, a feudal society of honor-bound knights in gigantic robots that uphold the chivalric code to defend their worlds and honor. A group of individuals on Mars, after radioactively bombing their planet to become inhospitable to human life, ran their entire lives underground on the few life support systems keeping them alive. Those technicians who could work on the machines and keep them operational were revered, and over 5,000 years went from skilled members of society to full-blown priests. The cult Mechanicus, or tech priests of Mars, formed in the ashes of the Red Planet with a religious fervor and doctrine on the cult of the machine god. And on Earth, or Terra, techno-barbarian tribes waged war across the planet in a Mad Max style of blood and gore, until finally, a mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed himself to the populace. His name was the Emperor. He deemed himself the...
Alright, we pause here. We'll do a quick recap again. Things were going well, too well, I would say, right? Those who were privileged with, whether it was like the, what did they call them? The Eldars, right? The elves ones. They were bored, I guess. I don't know. Like, they seemed just bored that everything was just working for them. And they tried to amplify all of their senses to feel something, because everything just kind of like, I guess, became stale. So they wanted to amplify their feel and emotions to things in form of art, smashing, a lot of pain, a lot of art in different forms. Even murder apparently became a common thing, which obviously messed up the warp even more. It's already like overpopulated, but yeah, let's just start more murder to overpopulate it more. Great, love that. Love that, amazing. And then due to all of this, like, too much of everything going on, too much bad things going on and being normalized, a new goddess of terror came to be. Slay something. Where is she? There. Slaanesh, this queen. She looks cool, but I know she's probably awful, you know? But yeah, the elephants, it was kind of their end, to be honest. They really just shot themselves in the foot and ended their era, their reign, by indulging in too many indecencies And yeah, she took over. I don't really fully recall what happened that caused them to that caused yeah, no, it was just war again, right? It was like just more chaos and war happening, and that caused like a lot of planets and a lot of, especially for humans and other species, to be isolated because the warp traveling also got affected. And then there were psyches in between humans as well, but they kind of like got discriminated and kind of just like it was like a whole witch hunt against them. But they also kind of didn't know how to really hone their powers in this era of not of kind of like what like isolation from others. And with their powers, they kind of accidentally channeled and communicated with demons, I believe. And these demons could use these psychers as vessels, basically. And that itself led to even more murder and violence and just a lot of fuck shit happening. I don't know the timeline here between that happening and these new form of robotic humans where basically the survivors kind of like I think he said 5,000 years, right? 5,000 years later they kind of adapted and equipped themselves with like armor and these big mecha suits to help with agriculture, but also to protect their people of their planet from invaders and whatnot and demons. And then Sir Emperor happened another 5,000 years later. Right? I think so. All right, that's kind of what I remember.
Revealed himself
Or
to the
understood so
populace.
far.
His name was the Emperor. He deemed himself the Emperor of mankind. Where did he come
Of
from?
mankind?
I don't
Okay.
know. Why is he 10 feet tall and the most powerful psyker of all of mankind?
Oh, he's also
I don't
psycho.
know.
Okay.
Why is he basically immortal? I don't know. Where'd Cotton Eye Joe go? Who knows? But he's here, and he isn't happy with all of you ripping up Terra. So he began the Unification Wars, where he and a very early version of the famous Space Marines, the Thunder
Oh, I forgot, right. There was like in Mars, like underground, there was a society that managed to stay alive on some life support form. Usually it started off with like just a few being able to not bioengineer, but like engineer these life supports and keep the population under Mars alive. And they became like the priests of these like civilization, like they became like the supreme leaders of it or something like that. That's yeah, something I forgot to say. But he was from Mars, right? The Emperor? Or is he... Wait, let me go back, actually.
Aryan tribes waged war across the planet in a Mad Max style of blood and gore, until finally, a mysterious man who lived in the shadows of Terra for millennia finally revealed
Okay, it's just an
himself to
Earth,
the
okay.
populace. His name was the Emperor. He deemed
Emperor.
himself the Emperor of mankind. Where did he come from? I don't know. Why is he 10 feet tall and the most powerful psyker of all of mankind? I don't know. Why is he basically immortal? I don't know. Where'd Cotton Eye Joe go? Who knows? But he's here, and he isn't happy with all of you ripping up Terra. So he began the Unification Wars, where he and a very early version of the famous Space Marines, the Thunder Warriors, reunited Terra under a single banner. With blood. Then, after taking over Earth, he reunited the Thunder Warriors into the fucking dirt. This is where we get the Imperium of Man, also known as the Imperium. The new faction headed by the Emperor of Mankind with a treaty signed with the Cult Mechanicus on Mars to spread out and reunite humanity after the catastrophic Age of Strife. But first, the Emperor is going to need some smaller versions of himself. 20 of them. 18 of them, I meant. Gene-crafted sons of the strongest human to ever live. All of them possess unparalleled
the Primarchs.
Strategic power, intelligence, formidable strength.
Big E for me got complicated around here. Oh my gosh, should I lock in more?
Strength and size, a real powerful force to unite humanity and stop the chaos of the current galaxy. Speaking of chaos, you ever seen that image of that guy? It's like throwing the baby like a basketball. It's about what happened. The Chaos Gods intervened and grabbed the 18 Primarch gestation pods and yeeted them across the galaxy at a whim, everywhere they could possibly go. A galactic game of keep away. So the Emperor had to get them back. So begins begins the Great Crusade, a crusade across the stars to reunite not just humanity, but the Emperor with his fallen sons. The first to be found was Horus.
Horus.
One of the strongest and most
What was that? What does that mean? What was that? What was that?
found was Horus. One of the strongest and most noble sons. The Emperor carried with him a legion of newly crafted warriors with genetic material made from their Primarch father. These are the newly made Space Marines. For Horus, his were the Luna Wolves. And as the Emperor continued on his great crusade, he found more and more of his sons, reuniting them with their individual Space Marine legions. Leman Russ, the cunning hunter with the space.
Okay, question. I think I missed it. So he went and found Horus, right? Did he give him the Space Marines, or where Horus was like yeeted to, he created his own little legion, and then when like the Emperor came and found him, he's like, oh, you already created your people? All right, nice. Let's, you know, let's unite and keep it pushing. Or so it wasn't the Emperor giving him the Marines, or was it the Marines were with him? Oh, he gave him a legion. Okay, so he was just alone. Okay, noted. Thank you. Horus, the best and the worst of all his sons. Oh,
Wolves.
I'd like to know why, actually.
He found more and more of his sons, reuniting them with their individual Space Marine legions. Leman Russ, the cunning hunter with the Space Wolves. Rogel Dorm, the Phalanx with the Imperial Fists. Angron, the Barbarian, the very angry with his World Eaters. Fulgrim, the Perfect with his Emperor's children. And Jagatai,
Wait, I kind of like that one.
World Eaters. Fulgrim.
But maybe it's because it's purple and gold. I really like that combination. And also he has white hair. White hair characters look cool. The Space Marine were already created. How will he will explain in another video. Oh, okay. The Space Marines have special abilities depending on the Primarch that they have.
The Perfect with his Emperor's children. And Jagatai Khan, the Swift.
She likes Fulgrim and Slaanesh. That tracks. They're purple.
The Stoic,
They look nice.
and his white scars. Those were just some of the 18, and one by one his lost Primarch sons were returned to him, and their Space Marine legions returned to them. The Great Crusade saw humanity once again reconquer the stars, returning worlds of humanity back to the Imperium and killing any and all who stood against their noble crusade. But in the years of the 31st millennia, treachery would break this all apart.
No. Horus heresy.
Horus, the Emperor's most beloved and favored sons, named War Master for the Crusade, succumbed to the power of chaos and daddy issues. All because of that bastard Erebus. Yo, fuck Erebus. Slowly, Horus would become corrupted, turning the Emperor's sons against him. This begins the most pivotal moment in our story, and the one that has like 50 books written about it, the Horus heresy. 9 of the 18 Primarchs turned against the Emperor, and the following years were a bloody battle for the throne of Terra. The Emperor originally was working on a special webway project, just like the Eldar, to make faster-than-light travel significantly easier and safer. Really improve humanity.
Like, what? It's crazy to me that this Emperor is like, you know, went all these lengths to reunite his 18 sons that he made. He made you, bro. And he went and found you again, and then you're gonna like try to fight for the throne. Well, I understand that he got corrupted by chaos and stuff like that, but still, it's just so crazy how greed and I guess hunger for being the leader and the throne really can just ruin everything. Because so far, I don't think I've heard the Emperor necessarily being horrible. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he is, but he just seems to want to unite Terra again. He just want to bring humanity together and make us one unit, one team, fighting against everything. And then here comes Horus. Is like, no, no, Dad, you yeeted me across galaxies, and then you came and found me. I don't like you anymore. I want your throne, actually. The Emperor isn't the best dad ever. Half his sons rebelled for this or the reason or that reason, and everything got wrecked in the process. It's more complicated than he makes it seem. He tends to treat everyone as tools to be used. Oh, Emperor is just a chill guy. But I mean, didn't he make them from himself? Like, they're part of him, no? Or did I miscomprehend that part? Let me hydrate a little bit. Emperor is just a chill guy. He seems like a chill guy. I don't know. He made them, he found them, gave them a legion, gave them a place, gave them everything, and then they're like, I don't know, Horus seems ungrateful. Like, damn, bro. What else do you want? I mean, you can just make your own throne, like a replica. His sons all have qualities and shortcomings that come from the Emperor himself. Papa Nurgle is much better. You guys really like him, like this Nurgle guy. But yeah, because in my logic, in my like belief, I think if he made them from parts of himself, and it's like they're kind of a reflection of him as well, like think of it as like your body, and then your arm suddenly acts differently. It's still part of your body. Like, you should have the say, right? Like, you're controlling it. I can do different things with both arms, right? But they're still, you know, in like, I'm in control of both, but I can allow them to be free. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain my thoughts. I'm just gonna stop here. My head is frying. Anyways, let's go back. This Sir Heresy, no, Sir Horus Heresy needed 50 books apparently. So I don't think I have the correct equipment to assess the situation. But just based off here in this short video, I don't know. I think he's SMH L kid, bro. L kid. But once maybe I gain more knowledge on 40K, I'll make a different assessment. But for now, I'll just say
Webway project,
SMH.
just like the Eldar, to make faster than light travel significantly easier and safer. Really improve humanity to allow them to conquer the stars without the risk of the warp. Well, this big red idiot named Magnus kind of blew a hole into that, literally and figuratively. So Biggie over there is stuck on a gigantic golden throne, holding back the oncoming rush of demons and powering the Astronomicon. Basically a big North Star for people who are sailing in the warp to help them navigate. The Horus heresy saw many loyalist and traitor legions pitted against each other in a bloody war until it reached Terra itself. Horus, unable to break through the lines and with time running out, made a gambit and opened his ship up to be boarded. The Emperor took this challenge, quickly allowing someone else to take control of the throne as he teleported his way onto Horus's flagship, the Vengeful Spirit. The Emperor, unable to truly kill his most beloved son, changed his mind right quick when Horus strangled the life out of his other son, Sanguinius.
Oh, no!
No.
I'm sure you've seen
No.
this image at some point. The Emperor then
No,
said,
it's actually my first time.
and proceeded to psychically blast Horus into complete oblivion, killing not only his body, but also his soul.
Oh.
Horribly wounded from this duel, the Emperor is returned to the Golden Throne in order to keep the demons at bay and power the Astronomicon, because without it, humanity would be flying blind. There, he sits, slowly dying from his wounds and the strain of powering the Golden Throne. The only thing keeping him alive is feeding upon the souls of 1,000 psychers every single day. This
every day
was 10,000 years ago. We are now in the 41st millennium, modern day. Warhammer 40,000.
Whoa. go.
Emperor remains
made
on
it.
his throne. The Imperium is a rotting carcass of an empire, a fascist, xenophobic cult that worships the Emperor as a deity despite him never wanting to be seen as a god. Over the span of 1 million worlds, the ecclesiarchy, the church of the Emperor, is spread throughout. Inquisitors with unparalleled power root out any sign of heresy or lack of devotion to their god Emperor. The other half of the traitor legions move about as Chaos Space Marines, raiding and pillaging the Imperium, while the loyalist half does their best to keep the Empire alive. All throughout this, they must endure Orc invasions, Eldar trickery, the reawakening of the Necron race, and the Great Devourer.
Reawakening of them? They're back? Oh, brother. Why are they Why are they back? Why are they back? It's even worse now. They need 4,000 psychers per day to keep him alive. And it's been 10,000 years, dude. Holy moly. Because the Golden Throne is falling slowly but surely. The orcs are the strongest beings. The Necrons are back thanks to the Marsh guys. Oh goodness, in my opinion, but they are too dumb.
Our trickery, the reawakening of the Necron race, and the Great Devourer, the newest tyrannid threat from the darkness between galaxies that has arrived to feast on their worlds. The theme of Warhammer 40,000 is regression and intolerance. Every major faction in Warhammer has had an empire that spanned the galaxy only to be crushed back to a hollow shell of what they once were due to their own failings. Culture, the arts, personal freedom, religious tolerance, the simple possibility that alien life might not want to kill us is considered heretical and is often met with a pistol to the head. There is no time for these things. All there is time for is worship of the God Emperor and a million wars to be fought. To be a human in the 41st millennia is 99% of the time to live a horrible existence, to be one of trillions of other humans across a million worlds throughout the galaxy. A galaxy where AI is outlawed, so humans are repurposed and lobotomized to become slaves. A place where lack of devotion is met with death. And if you even have devotion, there is a good chance the threats to the galaxy, chaos, and aliens will kill you anyway. Warhammer is a world where you revel in being bad. There are protagonists, there are antagonists, but every faction is some shade of evil. Because playing the bad guys is always more fun. And my friend, you have a selection. So pick up that lasgun soldier. You and the other 3 million men and women in this single deployment on this single world in this single battle will now show them the might of the God Emperor. That weapon in your hands has killed 99% of the alien populations in this galaxy. Unfortunately for you, soldier, you're fighting the final 1%. May the Emperor be with us. Glory to the first man to die, for in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
Damn. Who's she? Wait. Who is she? Who is she? What fraction she in? I want to join. Where's she going? I'm going. The music is so loud. Ooh, that looks cool. The blue ones are also nice.
Thank you, everyone. I hope
You're
helped
welcome.
teach you about Warhammer. If you
It was a lot, but thank you.
are a
I did
brand new
learn stuff.
person and you want to get a bit more about the world, there are multiple books that do a great job at showing off how the entire universe operates. For the most part, Warhammer is a setting, and often stories are told in that setting with a Warhammer coat of paint. Gaunt's Ghosts is Band of Brothers, but Warhammer. It's honestly one of my #1 recommendations for new people. Assassinorum Kingmaker is an assassin novel involving those night worlds. This is Mission Impossible, but Warhammer. Bloodlines is Blade Runner, but Warhammer. And the list goes on and on. If I had to recommend a brand new novel for a first-time Warhammer enjoyer, these are the 4 I would recommend. Horus Rising, Caiaphas Cain, First and Only, Gaunt's Ghost, and Infinite and the Divine.
This is about Horus, right? Like solely his rising. Okay. Caiaphas Cain, First and Only. Okay.
They are all fantastic novels, and they will get you acquainted with the world without needing to know too much. Thank you all so much for watching this video.
Thank you for making the video. Oh my god. We'll stop here. we'll have our conversation here. That was crazy. Okay, let me recap those final moments. It kind of started with, I still need to know if Fulgrim was one of the kids that turned on the Emperor or no. Can someone confirm in chat? Is Fulgrim, did Fulgrim turn on the Emperor? Please say no. Am I one of the bad guys that turned on the Emperor? And also, he said, I don't know how many he said, but I'll recap on how much I remember. His 18 vessels were yeeted. He managed to get, I believe, 7 or 9. The first one being his first son, Horus. And then he kept going and, like, you know, traversing these galaxies and finding his other ones. And gave each of them a fraction. No, is it called a fraction? Right? Like a group? Yeah, I think it's called a fraction. Which were the Space Marines, ? And then what happened? Oh yeah, his first son, Horus, a legion, sorry, I meant a legion. He gave each one a legion, and then eventually, after he got, I believe, 7 or 9, Horus, I believe, turned on him. Yeah, Horus, it's called the Horus heresy. And he basically got corrupted by chaos and madness, and he turned the other sons on the Emperor, and they all were kind of fighting for the throne. And then more fuckery happened. And then the Emperor was like, you know what? I'ma go get him. I'ma go get Horus. I didn't wanna. I'ma go. And then he went to his like ship and decided he was gonna spare him, if I'm not mistaken. He was gonna spare him, but then he saw him literally murder his other son in front of him, and he just lost it. He's like, you know what? There's no saving you. So he offed him, and not only did he off him, he offed his soul, I believe, or something like that. Like he fully offed him. No more Horus. Not at all. None. Zero. Nada. Nothing was left. And during that battle between both, the Emperor had gotten injured, but when he came back, he, you know, had to like keep powering the throne, the golden throne, and to do so with his injuries, he kind of had to feast on 1,000 psychers daily. And according to, who was it that said 4,000 a day? But yeah, chat is telling me that now he currently is living off 4,000 psychers a day. He had to amp up his protein intake, it seems. And yeah, the current state of the Empire, I would say, is just a mess. Genuinely, it seems not to be what it kind of started off as. And he also did not want to be regarded as like a god or anything, but ever since, you know, offing Horus and stuff like that, he kind of just became like the sole ruler and who people are believing in the Empire. And there's also like a religious group that's, you know, spreading through millions of galaxies and worlds, spreading the, you know, the Emperor's legacy, and not legacy because he's not that, like his, you know, like, yeah, just basically keeping things in control, that everyone follows the Emperor and nothing else. You cannot be believing in anything else but the Emperor and the power of the Empire itself. And yeah, now you just have to pick and choose which bat coin you want to be, because in this selection there's only bat coins, so pick your choice. So since everything is bad and everyone is bad, I want to be purple. I want to be purple and bad. But yeah, this was actually a really fun video. Are you gonna watch more 40k videos? Eventually, yes. I'm gonna try not to make them too much. Like, it's not gonna be a weekly occurrence, but maybe bi-weekly. I can, like, you know, try to check a video or two. I know there's a new trailer that people wanted me to check out as well, so I'm probably gonna add that to the list. That was Warhammer 40,000 by Bricky. Thank you all for the recommendations. I really appreciate it. It was a lot to take in, very much a lot to take in, genuinely, but I did try my best to kind of give summaries every like 10 to 8 minutes at least. I know I probably gotten a lot of things wrong and missed things. Please be easy on me. I'm trying my best. There's a lot of information, but yeah, I really did enjoy it. The story and the lore seems very interesting. Hopefully I learn more with time. But if you did enjoy this video so far, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and do let me know, which legion do you belong to? Let me know down in the comments. It would be interesting to see. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, YouTube.